This is a diagram. Well, first off, this was a diagram I had for my own personal use and wasn't really going to share it in a video. But then I ran across shoot, what is it called? An editor's opinion or whatever for a book called science fiction novel called The Observer, and it talked about changing the structure of reality. And so I thought I'd post this, my attempt at an observational field theory, and I'll also post a link to that editor pick or novel discussion or something. But there's the observer, and he or she stands at the intersection between the observational field and elsewhere. Elsewhere is behind the periphery. And well, let me go ahead and explain what I'm talking about here, if you can read this. First axiom: infinite distance moves out of the field gradually and imperfectly. That means to say that it gradually shrinks into a point at an infinite distance, gradually, and imperfectly. It's never quite invisible, because if you had a large enough telescope, you could find it. But second axiom: periphery moves out of the field instantly and perfectly. If you move behind the periphery of the observer, you're in a state that I call elsewhere. I based that loosely on a Minkowski space-time diagram. The elsewhere is where it can't be reached. It's beyond the speed of light, I guess. But I'm not saying that this is comparable to that in that strict sense. But behind the periphery of the observer is elsewhere. The third axiom that I have. Let me just increase this in size. Move it down some. The third axiom: a cloaked object moves out of the field instantly and perfectly, like the periphery, but a cloaked object is usually man-made, unless a natural phenomenon, such as a mirage or possibly even dark matter. But that's a cloaked object. It could be a mirage, it could be dark matter, or it could be made by humans. But it moves out of the field perfectly and instantly, as something would when it went behind the periphery of the observer. So those are the three axioms that I lay down for an observational field theory, where it takes the observer into account, and the three different ways that something can be removed out of the observational field. In other words, become invisible or cloaked to our senses, or whatever you want to call it. So this is the entirety of the first axiom, the second axiom, and you can barely see it, I suppose, the third axiom. But I just read them to you. So there's what I hope could be some sort of contender for some sort of observational field theory, some sort of contribution to what I know in the future might be an observational field theory. And I'll post a link to that editor book review. Review was the word I've been looking for, a book review. So I'm sorry, I'll post a link to that review. Thanks a lot. Bye.